Hi there, everyone. Monica Corrado here, the Gap Chef. It is 12:21 Mountain Time. My apologies for the delay in getting started. I am happy to be here with you. Today is Tuesday, July the 9th. So we are now in summertime, and I thought it might be fun and helpful, always helpful, to do a Facebook Live on gaps and the summer. So again, Monica Corrado here, the Gap Chef. I am honored to teach for Dr. Natasha and GAPS training, to teach certified GAPS practitioners and coaches everything they need to know, I hope, about cooking for the GAPS diet. That's my role. My desire in these Facebook Lives and on the page is to be sure that I am accurately representing the GAPS diet for Dr. Natasha and answering any questions you may have so that you can do the diet, the nutritional protocol with ease. Yes, with ease and efficiency and all those good things. So again, Monica Corrado, the Gap Chef. I am not a medical doctor, so nothing I say here has been approved by the FDA or the AMA, etc., etc. But it is all GAPS. So, hello there. Yes, hello now. All right, so today I thought it would be helpful to talk a bit about GAPS and the summertime, because the summer as a season has a lot of challenges for people and specific challenges for people on GAPS. So I thought we could talk about those, and then we'll go ahead and take any questions that you might have. So let's talk about summer. We just went into summertime in the Northern Hemisphere on June 22nd, 21st, 20th-ish, all around there. And hold on one second. And so we are now in a lot. Hello, Abida. Hello, everyone. Happy. Okay, so I thought we'd talk about summertime because summertime has to do with a lot of heat. What is the summer? Hot, hot, hot. Did I say hot? Yes, it's hot. And people are outside a lot more usually. And they're getting a lot more sun, we hope. Yeah. But it's a hot season, and so what do people want to do? They want to cool off. So I want to talk about two things specifically, and then I'll take your questions. One is that the GAPS diet has a lot of meat stock in it, especially intro. And of course we have meat stock in every stage of intro, and then certainly on full GAPS regardless. We're always having a cup to 2 cups of meat stock a day, even when we're on the full GAPS diet. So meat stock is hot. On the one hand, all over the world, specifically I'm thinking about places where it's really hot all the time, like the Middle East for sure. Yeah, places, countries where there's a lot of desert, etc., places around the equator, etc. They actually drink hot tea in order to stay cool. So some people have no problems with meat stock during the summer. They just go ahead and drink it, and it's fine, and no problem. Yay. And if you're one of the people, or your child is one that goes, oh, it's too hot, I don't want hot soup, I don't want hot stock, what can you do? This is the one season that I personally will talk about cooling off. What do I mean by that? Usually, if you have worked with me before, you've heard me talk before, I will not encourage drinking cold drinks. And certainly, whether it's in the summer or not, you wouldn't want to drink cold drinks near a meal. Yeah, because cold will cool off your digestive temperature. Yeah. So we don't want to cool off. Hold on one second. We do not want to cool off the digestion. But in the summertime, yeah, sometimes we just need to get cool. So what can you do? You can make meat stock popsicles, right? Frozen ice pops. Yeah, some people make it with a little bit of mint. Of course, chicken would be best because it's the lightest in flavor compared to like a beef or a lamb. So chicken meat stock, maybe with a little bit of mint, maybe with a little bit of honey, little bit of raw honey, and then freeze it into popsicles or pops, small ones. Again, these iced things would be things that you would eat not near a meal, right? So this would be a snack. How do you get your child to have meat stock in the summer? Well, you make a popsicle and you give it to them, and you give it away from a meal. Yeah. So 20 minutes before or about 2 hours after, 2.5 hours after a meal is when you could do that. So that's a really creative and good way to get your child or yourself to have meat stock in the summer. You could even make meat stock shaved ice. Some of you are familiar with that, for a treat. So certainly you could do those things. I would also encourage you to make little popsicles, or right, small or big, out of your GAPS shakes. Again, fabulous. What do you have there? Fresh juice, beautiful cultured cream or some other fat, right? Eggs, yeah? Whip it on up, pour it into some molds, and now you have some delicious, nutritious, and good for you and for the gallbladder, right? Frozen GAPS shakes, popsicles. So those are two things to do. It's a really, really good thing for you to go ahead and start freezing some of these things. You can also make beautiful GAPS ice cream with, again, cultured cream, cultured kefir cream, maybe a combination of kefir cream and yogurt, kefir cream and cream that you've cultured with yogurt starter, with some berries that might be local and fresh and clean, yeah, and make some ice cream. You can do all of these things. Freeze the Russian custard. Make a big batch of Russian custard, which you all know is just egg yolks, not the white, just egg yolks, and a little bit of raw honey, and off you go into Russian custard. Then you can freeze it again into these little popsicles, these little molds. You can freeze it into ice cube trays. You can make ice cream out of it. These are ways to get GAPS foods into folks in the summertime when they might be like, I don't want anything else that's hot, right? I need cooling things. So all those things are fine. You just want to make sure that you do them outside of mealtime. So I wanted to talk about that, how to get meat stock, and certainly meat stock's the biggest one, right? That's the hardest thing because it's hot. And so you could do that. And also you can use meat stock in your meals, of course. I'm just having an idea about how people could make salad dressing out of meat stock if it was just room temperature. That's new. I just went there. Yeah, make some fabulous salad dressing out of meat stock. Anyway, so let's see what else. I'm looking to see how we're doing here. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to talk about those two things. The other, that's about food, right? So in the summertime, certainly people want to cool off. And so you can take these fabulous GAPS foods and make them into frozen treats. That's a wonderful thing to do. The other thing I wanted to talk about is cooling off via the pool. So a lot of people are going to the pool, the chlorinated pool, the chemical filled pool, the antimicrobial pool. Yeah? So to cool off. So the first thing I'd like to say, encourage you to do, is to take your children or your child or yourself to the beach. Can you get to a, yay, can you get to a, can you get to the ocean? Can you get to the ocean? Can you get to a lake? A clean lake? Can you get to a clean natural lake? Can you get to a river? Can you get to a stream? These are the ways that we cool off in gaps. If you're going to go to a pool, then what you want to do is to, number one, find a pool. Find a pool that's kept clean with with salt, perhaps. Saltwater pool, maybe. They also have copper pools, but I'm not sure if that's going to be good for us or not. Remembering that you're spending all of this time trying to repopulate the gut, repopulate the skin, right? We're repopulating the gut, we're repopulating the skin. And when we jump into a chlorinated pool, we are now blowing all that work. I know that sounds so incredibly strong of me to say, but certainly most of your children are going to swallow some of that water. Chlorine straight down. What does chlorine do? It kills microbes. The good, the bad, and the ugly. The good and the bad. Yeah? So chlorine on the skin is going to disrupt the microbiome or the biome on the skin. Chlorine in the digestive tract is going to disrupt the microbial balance in the gut, in the digestive tract. Yeah? So you really want to think about whether or not you want to put your children in a chlorinated pool over the summer. What could you do? You could, I encourage you to lather them up, put a barrier on the skin. Don't tell the people that run the pool, oops, because they're going to tell you to go shower that off, right? Most of them say, take a shower before you get in the pool. At least in the US they do. So what you want to do is put a good layer of tallow over the skin so that it can be protected. So you're just putting a protective barrier of tallow on the skin. Really good idea. I would do that over and over again if you're taking your child to a pool that has chlorine and or other chemicals in it. We will see a huge resurgence of eczema after the summertime because the skin will become irritated. It can become microbially imbalanced. And so number one, go swimming in a natural place. If you can't do that and you have to go to the pool, find a pool that doesn't use chlorine or chemicals. If you can't do that, put on a protective barrier on the skin, and then when they get home, make sure to do a detox bath, right, to get the chlorine off the skin. And then probably apple cider vinegar is going to be the best to repopulate the skin. All right, that's what I've got for you. All right, so those two things. The third thing is summertime. Hope you all know that tune. Summertime, summertime. Summertime is all about the sun. So make sure that you are not using sunscreen. We want to cover the body with natural cotton or linen, cloth, and hats when you are wear a hat when you're out in the sun, And also be sure to slowly build up the tolerance, your skin's tolerance for sun. So we're going out in the sun in the morning before the sun is at its peak, and in the late afternoon or evening after the sun is at its peak. And you want to do this gradually, building up the skin's ability to be in the sun directly, in the direct sun. We are not outside at peak. We don't sunbathe at peak in gaps. We sunbathe, or we are outside taking in the sun before peak in the morning and after peak in the afternoon and early evening. Really important to do that and to slowly build yourself up. You know, chemicals are chemicals. We don't use chemicals on the GAPS diet. We don't eat them, so that's why we eat clean food, because the majority of foods that the rest of the population is eating is full of chemicals, glyphosate and other things. Yeah. So we don't eat them. We don't put them on our skin. We don't bathe with them, right? So we don't want to put sunscreen on our skin, on your children's skin, right? Use a protective barrier of cotton or linen, not these SPF 55 polyester unnatural materials next to the skin. We want cotton and linen, long sleeves, and stay out of the direct sun at its peak until you can be there. Anyway, so just wanted to get that out there. If you have any questions about summertime and gaps, let me know. I'm happy to answer them, and I can also look to see what's here in the chat. Let's look. Abby, hello. Who else? I've got some other people up there. I can't see. It won't let me do it. Sorry. Hi, Sharon. Hi there. Hello, Sharon. Hello, Ginny. Hello, Cindy. Good to have you. Hello, Leslie. All right. Hello, Na. We already said hello to you. Yes, before. All right. All right, let's get started. So, Sharon wants to know, fermented foods have high glutamate. Fermented foods can have high histamine if they are not fermented long enough. The longer you ferment a food, the lower the amount of histamine. I'm not aware of fermented foods being high in glutamate. I am sure of bone broth being high in glutamic acid, which is nervous system dysregulating, which is why we don't eat it or drink it on GAPS, or at least not for a long time. All right, can my child take fresh squeezed ginger drops as a bitter instead of betaine HCl? Absolutely. There are lots of really good things for children and for adults to help to increase stomach acid, bitters being one of them. Fresh ginger is fantastic to use. Burdock root is also good. There are bitters that you can find that are already made up called Swedish bitters. Yes, absolutely. Great idea. Go for it. All right, Ginny asks, hi, Ginny. Happy to catch you live. I'm happy to catch you live, too. Trying to find a copy of your second edition spiral bound cook. I have a million of them. Okay, if anyone ever wants to find my second edition, you go to my website, which is simplybeingwell.com, and you go there, and then you'll go straight to my publisher, who they are the ones who publish my book, and you can order it through them. Let me know if you can't find it. But easy peasy, that is, I'm so happy you're wanting to give us gifts. If anyone wants a bulk order of my book, contact me directly and we'll see what we can do. You can go to simplybeingwell.com and go to contact, or you can just send me an email. It's simplybeingwell@gmail.com. So let me know. Happy to help. Let's get that book out. Leslie, hello, Leslie. I have a question about eggs. Okay. When I eat organic eggs from the grocery store from chickens that are fed soy, yeah, as part of their feed, they mess with my hormones and slow down my thyroid. I can manage with eating 1 or 2 of them per day, but not the quantities that I would like to eat. The soy-free organic eggs from the grocery store are for chickens that are fed flax to replace the soy in order to. So find a farmer. Find a farmer, folks. I mean, I'll keep reading, but this is why we don't buy eggs from the grocery store. Unless we really have to and it's the only alternative, which is fine. And then we bless it and go. But you all know that Dr. Natasha has said over and over and over again that there is no food to be found in the grocery store. Hold on, I'm getting a text from my son. Okay, fabulous. Gotta stay still a mom here. Okay, all right. All right, let me see what you're saying. So, blah, blah, blah. When I eat the blah, 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 they mess with my hormones, phytoestrogens from. So the first thing is, I totally get, Leslie and everybody, that soy in feed can mess with your hormones, which is why we really try to eat things that are soy-free, because soy is a goitrogen, as you're saying. Goitrogen just means it messes with your thyroid. It actually suppresses it. And we don't want to have soy in our bodies, in our diets, especially soy that's not been fermented, right? So, but I'm not sure that flax is that big a deal. I know that sounds terrible, but I really don't know that flax has as many phytoestrogens as soy does. That's just, maybe I just don't know that, but I've never heard that. I've never heard that flax has phytoestrogens. However, if I were choosing, let's do the Cadillac first, right? There's always good, better, best. The best thing to do is, well, Dr. Natasha would say the best thing to do is to have your own chickens. Okay, so can't do that. What's the next best? Find a farmer who's not feeding their chickens soy. That's the next best. Yeah. And then what's your other option? The other option, I mean, I would go with the ones that are soy-free organic if I had to. Yep. That's my best. I mean, the way you should handle the situation is, I would say, find a farmer. That's going to be your best, because then they're not doing soy and they're not doing flax, right? Or find someone in your neighborhood that has their own chickens. Okay. Jenny says, saltwater pools make chlorine. The worst part about pools is chemically laden city water. Okay, cool. I'm just saying, folks. Jenny, thank you for that. We shouldn't be in pools anyway. Just saying, right? GAPS people should not be in pools. Humans should not be in chlorine. All humans. GAPS are not. I know I'm saying things that are not politically correct right now, but, right? Go to the ocean, go to the lake, go to the rivers, go to the streams, or get yourself a water filter, put it on your hose in the backyard, and fill up your little kiddie pool for your child. How's that? If it's a small child. Or go ahead and put it on the hose where you have the sprinkler going, right? Good idea. Yeah, I was not aware that saltwater pools make chlorine. I don't have that information, but yeah, absolutely, that the worst part about pools is chemically laden city water. So that's why we just say, don't do it. It's not worth it. You're trying so hard. Find alternatives for your children. All right. Pools are gross. You're right, Leslie. You're welcome. Couldn't find it. Ginny, go to publications. No, go to Certified GAPS Practitioner, second book, or my new book. That's where you go. Or you can just go to my publications. It's there too. You're welcome, Sharon. Hey, let's see what else we're doing here. All right. Please, is there a home remedy for allergic reaction like hives? My son, 3 years, ate ice cream and just started itching all over. Hives is histamine response. So there is a homeopathic remedy. I am not I'm not a homeopath at all. I'm certainly not a trained homeopath. Histaminum. Histaminum is a homeopathic that you can take. I work, if you're in the US, I work with standard process Antranex or some other remedy to bring down histamine. And then in terms of topical, topical histamine response, I would try all the different detox baths. There are 5 of them, and I did a video on this about maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, the 5 detox baths. And you can look there and try each one and see which one feels better for your son. Blessings to you. I have a question about GAPS ice cream. I made mine with egg yolk, sour cream, and some honey, and tried with kefir cream as well. I have experienced a bitter taste with kefir cream. Is it a better idea to use sour cream cultured with yogurt for ice cream? You can. I mean, just play with it. Whatever you do is going to be great, right? So much better than store-bought. So maybe you use 1/3 kefir cream and then 2/3 sour cream. Maybe that'll work. Or 1/4 kefir cream and 3/4 sour cream, meaning made with yogurt. Secondly, I want to ask if freezing kefir, does it lose some of its good bacteria? Hold on, I have to cough. Pardon me. Goodness. Everything loses some of the bacteria. That was not said well. When we freeze things, some bacteria will die, but not all bacteria, not all the good guys. So, again, is it important to continue to take kefir in its liquid form or its, cream form? Yes. And then this is a treat. This is not a substitute. It's a treat. Yeah, to freeze it. Okay. Okay. Ginny says, kombu has lots of absorbable iodine which gets muscled out by unnatural halides. Yeah, such as fluoride. Yep. With you, Ginny. I'm just saying, folks, water. I've done several talks on water. Really important to drink pure water, to bathe in pure water, to swim in natural water. Yes, there's a lot in the Blue Book if people want to take a look at everything Dr. Natasha has said about halides. Yeah, the things that block receptors, and then your body can't get what it needs. So, yes, agreed. You can have fabulous kombu. I mean, so what can I say? One more time with feeling. Do the best you can. Make good choices about what you're doing. Remember where the goal is. Keep your eye on the prize. And be sure to be doing things, say it differently. Just remembering that chemicals kill microbes. And GAPS is all about not only getting your digestive system working, but rebalancing your microbes internally. Your gut microbes, all your microbes, yeah? So when you plunge the human body, which has pores, right? This is why I'm saying put a barrier over it with tallow, yeah? Like really a lot of tallow to block the pores so the chlorine doesn't go into the body through the pores, yeah? So do what you can. Eat beautiful kombu if you're on full GAPS. It's not a GAPS, it's not an intro food. Yeah, beautiful. Abby says, meringue cookies. I made mine with egg whites and some honey. My son loves it as a snack. Can eating too many cookies be bad in any way? Meringue cookies are great as long as you're keeping the honey low. Right? We always make sure that we're using just enough to be sweet, but not so much that it's too sweet, right? Like honey is still sugar. Yes, it's allowed on gaps. It's beautiful, but just make sure that I'm happy that he loves it as a snack. He's getting a lot of fabulous egg white there. So just watch, right? We always watch. How is he tolerating it? Is he having any kind of skin flare? Is he having any behavioral things? Watch and see if it's too much sugar. That's all. Happy you made meringue cookies. That's fantastico. Wonderful to hear. All right, Ephraim, how are you? Other than enemas, anything else you recommend for migraines? So, as we all know, on the GAPS diet, Dr. Natasha recommends coffee enemas for migraines. You can do 2 or 3 a day if you need to, because migraines, in her experienced opinion, have to do with toxins on the brain. There are other reasons for migraines that I'm aware of in my practice, some of which has to do with too much pressure on the brain. And why would you have too much pressure on the brain? Because you need more. Well, there could be 2 things. One is you need more C, not ascorbic acid ever, but more vitamin C for the capillaries. But also, you may need uric acid, urea, which is something that you can take that'll bring down the intracranial pressure. That's another conversation for another time. It's not really GAPS, so let me know if you'd like to hear more about that. Okay. And also, migraines can be caused by, 3 things in my book. This is the word according to Monica again, right? This is not specific to GAPS. 1, migraines are caused by 1, toxins on the brain. Toxicity, that is GAPS. Number 2, it's caused by hormones, can be hormonal. Usually that's for women, but you never know. And 3, migraines can be caused because of intracranial pressure. There's too much pressure on the brain, which results in a migraine. Okay, 4, sorry, I'm thinking in real time here. 4, it can also be because of cranial plates. Remember, we're looking at our head here. It looks like just a head, but it has cranial plates that can get stuck. If they get stuck, that can be a migraine. So sometimes that can be remedied with osteopathy or biodynamic craniosacral work if it has to do with cranial plates. Sometimes even chiropractic, but I would go with osteopathy first. So, interesting. Migraines, why? Okay, I hope that's helpful. Alrighty. What exactly does it mean to keep your fruit and nuts down to 10 to 15% of your diet? 1 to 2 fruits per day, count calories. We don't count calories on GAP, so just throw that out. It's not a concept that we use. We're about eating food and not counting calories. I'm assuming you're talking about full GAPs because that wouldn't be really applicable to intro. So 10 to 15% of your diet, that's maybe a fruit a day and maybe a handful of nuts, right? We need to remember that, and Leslie, I don't know if you've seen these other videos I've done, but we need to remember that nuts and seeds and fruits feed yeast. Dr. Natasha says it herself, of course. Nuts and seeds and fruits feed yeast. No one ever has to eat a nut, a seed, or a fruit, ever, to be well. I know. Goes against the whole, what everybody else thinks out there, right? You all need to eat fruit all day, every day. Not true. So, nuts and seeds and fruit feed yeast. So, we keep them low in GAPs. Nuts and seeds should always be a treat. Fruit also. Most of what we eat, if you look at the GAPS diet and in the yellow book or the blue book, most of what we eat is going to be meat, fat. So protein, fat. Protein can be cultured dairy, protein can be eggs, protein can be fish, protein can be poultry, protein can be meat, yeah? Protein can be meat stock, right? So meat, fat, meat and fat, or we could say protein and fat and fermented foods, and nuts and seeds and fruits are tangential. They are once in a while, and that's it. That's how you stay well. All right, I hope that's helpful. Leslie. Okay, Brandon. Hello, Brandon. Welcome. When starting the intro diet, can you saute vegetables before adding them into soups? No. No. N-O. So, if you look at the intro diet, which all of you have access to on the page, yeah? This is the intro diet chart that's free to you on this page, on my Ask the GAPS Chef page up at Featured Posts. You will see that sauteing does not come in until stage 3. Sauteing is in stage 3, so if you'd like to add vegetables that are sauteed into your soup or your stew or your anything, casserole, etc., you will do that starting in stage, or you may do that starting in stage 3. Okay? It's not, we just do vegetables into the water with the meaty bones in stage 1. Yeah? Or we make vegetable soup with vegetables that are cooked in meat stock and then blended into soups in stage 1. Hope that's helpful. Hello, Laura. Hello, good to have you. Good, Leslie. I hope that was helpful. Okay, Abby's got another question. You're welcome. I have another question. How do I make bone marrow butter? Oh, you don't see my bone marrow butter on my website. Really? All right, I'll check my website. I swear I wrote an article on bone marrow butter, either on my website, simplybeingwell.com, and then go ahead and in the search bar you can put marrow, or you can put butter and see what comes up in articles. It may also be sitting on my Saline River Press. Saline River Press, again, is my publisher. You could look under blog, Simply Being Well. It could be there also. Check it out. And then if you don't find it, Abby, shoot me a note and I will post it. Okay? That would be grand. Yes, how do you make it? Basically, oh, you know what? Didn't you see it? Didn't I do it at OnCon this year? I think we did it at OnCon this year. I thought I taught it at OnCon this year. All right, what do? You roast your marrow bones. You pop it out into a bowl. When you're done, you add butter and then you whip it up. That's pretty much how it goes. Yeah, you can either roast the bones or cook them in stock first. So you have to cook the marrow, have cooked marrow, and then softened butter, and then you just throw it together lovingly in a food processor and off you go. All right. Let's see what else. We're almost at the end of our time. Let's see. Question Brandon has. You're welcome. Yeah, Abby, check and let me know, and I'll post it if I don't have it on my website. Please do, everyone, check my website, simplybeingwell.com. Articles, please do, and courses and all sorts of things. You can also check YouTube. I have Ask the GAPS Chef videos there. Lots of information I hope is helpful to you. All right. My 2- and 6-year-old would eat honey on everything if they could. That's exactly why you should not give it to them. Okay, sorry. That's kind of bratty of me, isn't it? Oops. Sorry, I just know that people are so wanting the sweet taste, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. We just need to watch. You don't want them eating honey on everything. Yeah? I recall hearing you say we could eat butter and honey cubes all day long. Yes, until your blood sugar stabilizes. Yeah? Do I need to be mindful about overfeeding them honey cubes or just honey in general? We will be starting intro stage 1. Um, hmm. Well, I love the word mindful. Yes, we want to be mindful. We don't want to be worried. We don't want to be cautious. We want to be mindful. So, yeah, I would. So, how do you control that? The first thing you do is you make sure when you make honey butter balls or honey butter cubes, yeah, that you use not a lot of honey. Yeah, watch the amount of honey. And as you do gaps, the less we crave things like the sweet taste. So just do that first, and then watch the amount of honey you put in, and then watch the amount that they are eating. You'll know. You can watch their behavior. If they start getting a little bit like woo crazy, or they continue to have yeast problems, all those things will tell you what's going on. They have an eczema flare. Laura says, can we have pork rinds fried in lard from the stores? Chicharrones. Um, Only if you're sure that that pork rind is clean. So I know Epic Provisions, I think, makes them. I would find out if the pork is clean, like you would with anything else. And then, if you call them or you email them and you find out what they're doing and you're good with that, then yes. Okay. All right, folks, we're a little bit over. I've certainly enjoyed being with you all today. I hope it was helpful. And I am off to, you're welcome, Brandon, and Abby and everyone. I am off to teach a certified GAPS coach class now in less than 30 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and close. And I wish you all well and a wonderful, wonderful day. Oh, I'm so glad that it's helpful. Good, 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 good. You're welcome, Cindy. Yep, Abby, everybody. Okay, be well. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Remember to breathe. Do the best you can. And then bless it and go. Okay, be well, everyone. We'll see you next week. Take good care. Bye now.